Welcome, Instant Foodies, to Instant Luxury, where I, your host Billiam, will sample and taste various instant delectables, so you don't have to. If you like my content and wish to see more, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Now, without further ado, let's see what we are eating today. Some people like to window shop around the mall, but for me, your instant foodie pal, I enjoy walking around Dollar Tree's frozen section. After looking around the wide selection of great frozen goods, I decided to give Banquet's barbecue meal a try. As you all know from my last video, I love my barbecue, and I love affordable food. So what can go wrong? Banquet helped me through college, and for my limited memory, I quite enjoyed it. So let's try this meal out and see if it still holds up today. I will be using my signature instant rating to give it a score at the end. Like usual, I'm going to show you a quick look at the front and the back of the box. I'm not going to go over the nutrition facts for the back of the box because we all know frozen foods aren't great for you, and if possible, you should avoid eating it constantly. But here it is, just for anybody who's interested in seeing what the nutrition facts is for this Banquet. To give a little detail to those who are not familiar with my instant rating system, I score each food based on 4 categories: visual appeal, taste, real factor, and value. Each category can get a total of 25 points each, giving a grand total of 100. So let's start with the first category, visual appeal. The first thing I noticed taking out the Banquet from the microwave was the strong cheese and barbecue aroma. Not going to lie, it does smell really good. As far as visually, it doesn't look so good. It reminds me of a high school cafeteria food. There's just this lonesome slab of meat that honestly looks like a dehydrated piece of turd. I never really understood why these riblets need to imitate the bones in the patty. The mac and cheese, made with real cheese, fares a bit better. It just looks like macaroni with cheese. The whole meal together, visually, not so hot. When I see this frozen meal, it reminds me of why frozen meals have a bad reputation. However, at the same time, it's really hard to knock on it for the price. As far as the visual appeals go, I'll give it a 5 out of 25. Now, onto the taste. To be honest, I wasn't really that hungry and didn't want to try it. However, as an instant foodie, I will do it for my other fellow instant foodies out there. The first thing I tried was the meat patty. When I cut it with a fork, I could feel the spongy texture. It felt like I was cutting through a soft kitchen sponge. When I bit into it, the texture was exactly what I thought, spongy and soggy. The flavor had a weird mix of chemicals, barbecue sauce, and thick meat flavor. It was pretty awful. Each time I bit down, just like a sponge, more liquid excreted from it. The barbecue sauce was pretty nice, the only saving grace. Now on to the mac and cheese. I want to reiterate that it's made with real cheese. Because it's real cheese, I need to pop in my trusty lactate pills. I don't really have high hopes for this mac, but I think it should be a bit better than the meat. When I finally tried it, to my surprise, not surprise, it was bland. There was only a small hint of cheese flavor. It also didn't help that mac was soggy and mushy. Even though it didn't look very watery, when I put it in my mouth, it almost felt like it melted. Is that weird or what? Then I decided to try the meat and mac together, and it was awful. The spongy texture of the meat mixed with the mushy mac, it felt like I just took a bite out of a used kitchen sponge with debris stuck on it. The taste didn't fare any better. There was this initial sharp chemical taste, then followed by the barbecue sauce. It honestly wasn't very good at all. Thankfully, I had my trusty sriracha with me. There was no way I was going to finish that without it. For the taste, I'm going to give it a measly 3 out of 25, because the barbecue sauce was decent at least. Now the real factor. This looks nothing like a backyard barbecue. The mac looks decent, but that's about it. The meat looked like someone took a dog turd from the neighbors and mixed it in the barbecue sauce. So, 5 out of 25 for the mac. Lastly, the value. It was $1. You get exactly what you get for $1. If this was any cheaper, I would seriously be afraid to eat it. At least there was real cheese with it, but that's also questionable. You can't get a frozen dinner cheaper than this around where I'm from. So because of that, I give it a full 25 out of 25. Overall, this made me appreciate my last meal I had. At least that meal had some potatoes, some somewhat real meat, I guess, as well as some corn. At the end of the day, this meal, it's a banquet for $1. I don't think most people are getting $1 banquets because they love it. It's one of those necessities where when you're low on cash and struggling to eat, you get it, and I can appreciate a product like that. However, it still doesn't change the fact on how awful it is. The grand total score for this banquet barbecue meal is a measly 38 out of 100, which was higher than I thought, but it mainly comes from the value. Because again, I'm gonna say it, I'd said this multiple times, it was only $1. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you want to support your instant foodie, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Be on the lookout for my new videos. I'll be pumping them out at least once every week. This is your instant host, Billiam, and I hope I made everyone's day instantly awesome.